everyone! Kumusta po ang lahat? For this video lesson, we are now on week 6. Still, continuation ng ating exponential functions. So, these are the activities na gagawin nyo for week 6. Page 507, page 534, numbers 1 to 5 only, page 564, and page 563, again, numbers 1 to 5 only. Okay, so the first topic for our week 6 is representations of exponential functions. Exponential function can be described using the form f of x is equal to b raised to x, where b is again a constant called the base, while x is a variable power or simply the exponent. So yan, paulit-ulit naman si ma'am ng definition. So at least hindi natin makakalimutan exponential function. So matatandaan, nakaraang week, we discussed about exponential equation and exponential inequality, how to solve it. So this time, we're going to represent exponential function. So let's study the different behaviors of the graphs of exponential functions relative to its independent and dependent variables. So ang gagamitin natin example is f of x equals 2 raised to x. So yung x natin is the input and f of x is the output. So yung x, maglalagay tayo ng value, any value. So I usually use the smaller number, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So pwede ka rin magkaroon ng negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's up to you. Consider the values in the following table. So substitute that x to the given function. So 2 raised to 0, so yung x natin, magsasubstitute tayo ng 0. 2 raised to 0, that's equal to 1. 2 raised to 1 is equal to 2. 2 raised to 2 is equal to 4. 2 raised to 3, 2 cubed. Okay, 2 cubed is equal to 8. Okay, so ulitin ko ulit. So ito, ibig sabihin yan ay 2 raised to 0 is equal to 1. So 2 raised to 1, so yung x natin dito sa given function, pinapalitan natin ng x values na to. Okay? Then we have 2 squared. 2 times 2, 4. Okay? Kaya naging 4 yan. Then 2 raised to 3, which is 2 cubed. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Then 2 raised to 4 is 16. And 2 raised to 5 is 32. So, nasa exponential function na tayo. Now, if x is 0, di ba nandito x is 0 daw, y is 1 or f of x is 1. So, ito yung point na yon. So, sorry, hindi makita. Yan, ito yon. Okay, so if x is 1, so ito yung 1 natin, di ba, yung bawat line na yan. Meron naman pong picture sa inyong module or dun sa soft copy and hard copy na sinend ko, kung medyo malabo yung nandito. Okay, so if x is 1, y is 2. Okay, so paano pa-plot muna kayo ng points? If x is 2, y is 4. Okay, then if x is 3, y is 8. Dito na siya. If x is 4, 16. If x is 5, 32. If x is 6, and so on. Okay, 64, and so on. So, pag ganun yung graph mo. Okay, then connect the dots or the points na plot nyo. Okay, so pag may negative ka, nandito lang yan. Hindi siya bababa dito sa line na to. Okay, so meron din siyang vertical or horizontal asymptote and vertical asymptotes, which will be discussed later. Okay, so ayan yung graph. Pataas siyang ganon. Okay? Now, take a look at this second graph, which is we're using the function f of x equals 1/2 raised to x. So, same guys, kapag naman 1/2 raised to x, so ibig sabihin 1/2 raised to 1. So, ano ibig sabihin noon? Then 1/2 raised to 2. 1/2 raised to 3, di ba? 1/2 raised to 0 first. So, 1/2 raised to 0 is, what is 1/2 raised to 0? Any number raised to 0 is 1. Okay, 1/2 raised to 1 is 1/2. 1/2 raised to 2 is 1/4. So, gagawa ulit kayo ng table. 1/2 raised to 3 is 1/8 and so on. So, pasaan naman yung inyong graph? Okay? Dito. Sa kabilang side. So, you may notice that this function is also the same as f of x equals 2 raised to negative x. So, the same lang siya dun sa negative exponent. Observe the graph of the function on the left. The curve moves steeply downward, going to the right but not touching x-axis. Still, the x inputs are real numbers. If this is the case, where b is greater than 0 but less than 1, you will have what we call exponential decay, or it is a decreasing function. So, yung kaninang graph, it is an increasing function or ang tinatawag nating exponential growth. Okay, so ito yung exponential growth. Pataas siya sa right. Ito naman ay pataas sa left. Ang exponential decay. Okay, importante yan kasi dun sa inyong activity, you have to know if it's exponential growth or exponential decay. Okay, so which is this activity? Find the values of exponential functions. So, ang gagawin nyo muna, gagawa kayo ng table. So, bawat item yan, number. Okay? So, meron kayong x and f of x. Okay? X at saka f of x. So, anong gagamitin yung x? Up to you. Pero usually, ang ginagamit, mas madali. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, bahala na po kayo. Tapos, isolve nyo yung nilagay yung x value dyan. Substitute nyo dun sa mga x dito. Okay? So, bawat number class. So, pwedeng isang ganyan mahabang table na lang kayo. Lagay nyo lang number 1, number 2. Kung same x values ang gagamitin nyo. Okay? Ganon, dagdag na lang kayo ng table. Number 3 and so on. Okay? Then, after that, ilalagay nyo kung exponential growth or decay siya. So, you have to write pa kung growth or decay. Now, let's talk about domain and range. So, na-discuss na naman natin before what is a domain and what is a range. So, recall that the domain of a function is the set of all allowable values of x, commonly known as the independent variable or possible inputs of the function, while the range of the function is the set of outputs, values, commonly known as the dependent variable. So, yung range kasi nakadepende kay x value. When all x values in the domain are evaluated into the function. So, the domain and range of exponential function is the set of input values, the domain, that is used for independent variable. The range of the function is the set of output values for the dependent variable. For any exponential function, f of x equals b raised to x, the domain, okay, ito yon. Ang domain daw is the set of all real numbers. Ang range, however, is bounded by the horizontal asymptote of the graph of f of x. So, nakadepende si range kay horizontal asymptote ng graph ng f of x. Okay? So, ang domain is the set of all real numbers. Find the domain and range of the function of y equals 3 raised to x plus 2. So, Sean, look at the graph of the function. So, ito yung graph. Pag ginrap mo yung function, y equals 3 raised to x plus 2. So, ayan yung graph niya. So, nakita mo na ang domain niya is all real numbers. Kaso, meron siyang range. Ang range na naman is y such that y is any element of real numbers such that y is greater than 0. Okay? Mas pataas kasi yung graph na nakita natin. Hindi siya bumaba dun sa y equals 0. So, set notation, ito yon. You may write it this way or you may write it in interval notation. Okay? So, ganun lang kasimple ang domain and range ng exponential function. Okay? So, pag ganito naman in the form, ang ating exponential function is of the form f of x equals a times b raised to p of x plus h, be an exponential function where p of x is a linear. The domain of the function, domain, hindi na kayo magsusolve, all real numbers. Range of the function, is h. So, yung nandito, if a is greater than 0, tapos naman if a is less than 0, yung nandito niya, yan yung a na sinasabi. So, pag positive yan, h. Okay? Then, positive infinity. Kapag naman yan negative, negative infinity, then yung h, yun yung magiging range. So, wala ka na pong isolve. Just look at the given function. Okay, let f of x is equal to 4 raised to x plus 1 minus 2. Find the domain and range. So, yung a natin dito is positive 4. Diba? Yan yung a, positive 4. Kasi wala tayong problema sa domain ha. So, it's all real numbers. Pagdating sa range, dun tayo nagkakaroon ng boundary. So, y such that y element is any element of real numbers. So, y is such that greater than negative 2. Or negative 2, then positive infinity. Kasi positive yung dito. Saan ang galing si negative 2? Yung nandito lang. So, wala kang isosolve by just simply looking at the exponential function. So, find the domain and range of the following exponential function. So, gano'n lang yung gagawin nyo. You're asked to do numbers 1 to 5 only. So, if you want to do 6 to 10, you may try it. Okay? Then, intercept zeros and asymptotes of exponential functions. Determining the zeros of exponential functions. So, let's take a look at the example. So, f of x is equal to 3 raised to x. To find the zero of the function, equate it to 0 and solve for x. So, yung 3 raised to x, equal mo lang siya sa 0. Then, solve for x. So, walang value ng x na magiging 0 tong left side na to. So, the resulting equation suggests that f of x has no 0 since no real value of x will make 3 raised to x equals 0 a true statement. Diba? Kahit ilagay mo dyan negative 1, 3 raised to negative 1, hindi siya 0. 3 raised to 0 is not 0. 3 raised to 1 is not equal to 0. So, walang posibleng value ng x. Kaya, no 0. Okay? For this given. Now, how about in this example? G of x is equal to 5 raised to 3x minus 12 minus 1. Yung minus 1 niya ay hindi exponent. To find the zero of the function, equate it to 0 and solve for x. So, ito na lang ang equate mo kay 0. So, 5 raised to 3x minus 12 minus 1 equals 0. Transpose negative 1, it will become positive 1. So, 5 raised to 3x minus 12 equals 1. So, we gagawin same base. Ang 1 is the same as 5 raised to 0. Diba? 5 raised to 0, any number raised to 0 is 1. Since 5 ang base dito, syempre, gamitin natin same base dapat sila. So, 3x minus 12 equals 0, 3x equals 12, x equals 4. So, g of x is equal to 4. So, ang 0 ng function na to is 4. So, it's like 12 divided by 3. Ganun lang po ang pagkuha ng 0. Now, let's talk about intercepts. The y-intercept is a point at which the graph crosses the y-axis. The x value is always at 0. When you want to find the intercepts from an equation, let the y value equal to 0, then solve for x. So, let's take a look at some examples. Find the x and y intercepts of y equals 4 raised to x plus 1 minus 2. To find the y-intercept, let x be equal to 0. Okay? Yung pag hinanap ang y-intercept, gagawin 0 yung x. Yung x dyan sa given function. So, y equals 4 raised to x plus 1 minus 2. Y equals 4 raised to 0 plus 1 minus 2. 0 plus 1 is 1. So, y equals 4 raised to 1 minus 2. Y equals 2. Then, the y-intercept is at 0, 2. So, tandaan, ito yung x natin, 0, ginawang 0, and then y equals 2. Kapag naman po ang hinahanap ay x-intercept, gagawin mong y equals 0. So, itong part naman na to ang gagawin 0. 0 equals 4 raised to x plus 1 minus 2. So, 2, saan ang galing? Yung minus 2 tinranspose. So, 2 raised to 1 is this equal to 4 raised to x plus 1. So, yung 4 is gagawing 2 squared. Tandaan, pag nag-solve ng ating exponential equation, same base parate ang right side at left side ng equation. So, 2 squared raised to x plus 1. So, magiging 2 raised to 1 is equal to 2 times raised to 2 times the quantity x plus 1. Kukunin na lang natin yung 1 na nandyan, tsaka yung 2 times the quantity x plus 1. Then this will become 2 times x, 2x, 2 times positive 1 is 2x plus 2 equals 1. Then 1 minus 2 equals 2x, negative 1 equals 2x, x equals negative 1 half. So that's gonna be, ito yung x mo, negative 1 half, ang y natin ay ginawa nating 0. Kaya siya naging x, yan ay yung ating value ng x-intercept. Now, asymptotes of an exponential function given by a graph. A line that a curve approaches arbitrarily closely is an asymptote. So, yung sinabi ko katulad dati na it will lalapit lang siya doon sa line na yon, but it will not touch that line. Okay? Now, determine the asymptote of the following. 5 raised to x, the asymptote is at y equals 0. So, tandaan lang yan. Pagdating ng 3x plus 2, the asymptote is at y equals 2. 3 raised to x plus 2 minus 5, the asymptote is at y equals negative 5. 3 raised to x minus 2, diba? Or negative 2 plus 3 raised to x, ang asymptote niya, y equals negative 2. 4 raised to x minus 2, 3, y equals 0. So, ano yung napansin nyo sa asymptote niya? Kapag walang mga number dyan, diba? Yung karugtong, diba? Dito may plus 2, yun na yun. Yun lang yung napansin nyo. Negative 5, negative 5. Tapos dito, negative 2. Kasi nandun, wala siyang variable exponent. So, negative 2. Dito, wala siyang constant doon sa dulo or h doon sa ating form. Diba? Yung diniscuss natin kanina. So, 0 lang yan. Parating 0. Okay? At y equals 0. So, if you're given y equals 2 raised to x minus 5, o yan. Ano ang asymptote niya? Y equals 0. Okay, ganun lang po. Then, ito yung gagawin nyo. Find the y-intercept, the 0, and the asymptote. Okay, y-intercept po ang hinahanap ha, hindi po x-intercept. Then, 0, and then asymptote. Kasi di ba yung 0 function is like the x-intercept na rin. Okay, so asymptote, ayan, madali lang. 1 to 5 or everything ba ang pinasagutan ni ma'am dito? So, I think it's just 1 to 5 only. Then, do what I can do. Madali lang po, express your answer through an essay. Anong essay yon? In times like this, what can you do to help hinder the spread of deadly virus? Kasi yung example ng exponential function yung pagdami ng yung virus, di ba? Yung nasa pandemic tayo ngayon, so naka-exponential pattern siya. Palaki ng palaki, di ba? Parang pataas ng pataas. Okay, so what can you do to help hinder the spread of a deadly virus? Express your answer through an essay. So 5 sentences, I think 5 to 10 sentences will be enough. Okay, so that's it. It always seems impossible until it's done. So, yan, paulit-ulit from Nelson Mandela, yun lagi ang iniiwan sa inyo ni Ma'am Lala na a quote. It always seems impossible until it's done. So, let's start right. Let's start our work on time. Let's finish so that we'll finish everything on time. So, once na may na-start ka, syempre, may kailangan tayong matapos. Okay, so good luck and this is the week 6 video lesson.